What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome to the RNEWS Morning Show. And let's just jump into it. From r/politics, U.S. House to vote on ending federal ban on marijuana. That won't happen if Georgia shows up to vote. Or Kamala tells Mitch to eat a whole butt and brings it to vote as president of the Senate. I so want this to happen. I want her to walk in on day one and say, there's a new president in the White House and a new president in the Senate. The GOP can still be as obstructionist as they want, but they're going to have to put their eye or nay on every damn vote they want to kill. And I bet without Turtleneck Skeleton Drew playing guard, there will be a hell of a lot more legislation that gets a handful of Republican votes. Looking at you, Georgia. They're already registered because they voted in the presidential election. People have been getting kicked off of the registration rolls, even if they voted in November. I've been canvassing in Augusta and found that many POC are being terminated for the registry rolls. Why'd they even go the Southern strategy? And all the other crap route anyways. Sounds like a crappy idea in hindsight. Especially once the people they were trying to appeal to now run the party. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/news, US is rounding the corner into a calamity, expert says. With COVID-19 deaths projected to double soon. He's going to blame Biden. The minute Biden is president, then Trump and Republicans will suddenly take the pandemic seriously. And whine and point fingers daily at Biden. Wait for it. This will absolutely be the line. And because Trump supporters are unwilling or unable to process nuance, any explanation will go in one ear and out the other. All they'll hear is more people are dying under Biden than were under Trump. Frick, frick, frick. This thread reads like a horrible prophecy. You keep using big words, but all I hear is McConnell is the problem. Oddly enough, that seems to be the punchline for a lot of things around here. I'll do you one better. The Senate Majority Leader position isn't in the Constitution. The actual leader of the Senate is the VP. Being cold-blooded, having a comfortably safe seat, and a thick shell will do that. I might end up homeless or die of COVID or something. But by far the worst consequence of McConnell being such an anal wart is that I am no longer sexually attracted to turtles. Ruined the only thing I could still enjoy during this stupid pandemic. Thanks, Mitch. Just remember, in a few months when the right takes an abrupt interest in COVID deaths and suddenly cares about things like unemployment and deficits, the only proper response is, go frick yourself. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News, a 1-year-old infant in Canada has been fatally shot in an incident involving police officers who opened fire on a pickup truck while responding to an alleged kidnapping. Remember the UPS truck that had a hostage in it earlier this year? If I remember right, the hostage and the gunman were all getting out of the truck when like 40 cops opened fire, killing the hostage and 1 or 2 bystanders. Police seriously need better training. Frick man, a baby is dead because of trigger-happy police. Hell, I bet there will be some pretty bad protests over this. Edit. Sorry, I fricked up. Apparently there was not nearly as many cops present as I thought I remembered. Everything else is accurate though, okay sign. Wait, reform, better training, restructuring of how police handle situations. I don't know man, that sounds like some liberal bullcrap talk. They don't need more training. Police training in the US seems to increase the chances that they'll open fire on people. It's as though they're trained to escalate situations. I'm confident that if you armed firefighters and sent them on police call-outs, then less innocent people would die. They don't need more training. They need completely different training. This happens often. Last year in Florida, cops chased down a UPS truck where the driver was taken hostage. Ended up killing the hijackers, the hostage, and an uninvolved motorist. They were even seen using nearby occupied cars as cover. #Justice for Frank. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Trump suddenly irrelevant, Biden steals Thanksgiving spotlight with call for unity. The rest of the world needs to see Trump held accountable before they can regain faith in America as a world leader. Otherwise it's just a matter of time until Trump 2.0 comes along with a triple-digit IQ. That's a bingo, and I'm terrified of my own countrymen. Biden's speech, riddled with the usual stops and starts and mispronunciations. Boston Herald, keeping it classy by insulting the man's stutter. Being called out for mispronunciations from people in Boston makes me giggle a bit. Like Bunker Boy was going to give a speech about unity during a pandemic. He is too busy calling Pennsylvania people asking them to change the outcome of the election. Clearly that is more important. Why the frick should we unite with Confederates, Nazis and generalized bigots of all kinds? Seriously, frick em. Let me stop the topic of this article for a paragraph so I can randomly crap on people with a stutter for no reason. But it's some material right there. Whether right or wrong, the Boston Herald is a rag. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/uplifting news. Saint Dolly Parton part-funded Moderna's promising new coronavirus vaccine. Vaccine. Sign. I expected a more highbrow comment on this subject from you, Bill Nye Cream Pie Guy. Just about everything this lady does leaves me in tears. She may be the closest thing we have to Mr. Rogers at this point. Just so wholesome with her imagination library program for kids. The world doesn't deserve Dolly Parton. But we sure need her. When you think about the mountain this bad B-word climbed to be where she is, you would think ruthless. But no, since she did everything the right way, and it's Dolly, you just think, of course. She is a jewel. Everything about her, I adore, and her song Jolene haunts me in the most melancholic way. Maybe she can convince the anti-vaxxers to take it. I believe they would listen to her. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. France will begin labeling electronics with repairability ratings in January. Yeah, I like iPhones, but not including the block was such a blatant cost-cutting move more than an environmental one. I'd have believed the environmental argument if they had reduced the cost of the new iPhone by $20. Also, the cost of the absent block, and provided an option to buy a version with the block for people who wanted it. Exactly. The last time I ordered my Nokia, an E51 IIRC, when they used to be the best, they sent me just the phone, with a note inside saying, "Our research has found everyone has millions of Nokia chargers. So we've decided not to include one with this phone. However, if you do need a charger, just put a request through this website, and we'll post you a charger for free." This is a much better way to do this. I did have like 5 Nokia chargers, so I didn't need another one anyway. They should do that for appliances too. I have a front-loader washing machine that's older than I am. And I'm middle-aged. It started not going into its spin cycle a few years back and I was worried because I couldn't afford a new washer, but I figured out with the help of Google that the electrical brushes needed replacing. I called ASCO and despite me being in New Zealand and the machine being so old, they were able to sell me the replacement brushes and the machine is going beautifully to this day. I was really impressed that ASCO was willing still stocking parts for such an old machine. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show and I'll see you tomorrow.